growing up, I bet you did a lot of stupid things. Maybe not as crazy as me, but I bet you were wild. You see, every farmhouse and barn has a story. It has a past. What's this house's story, you might ask? This house lived a story of guilt, depression, angst, laughter, betrayal, death. This house's story is a story of life. What does your house say? Welcome home?
You may be wondering what I'm doing here. You see, I didn't leave my job. I knew that Travis would come back here. No one knows I'm here except for my lousy producer. You can say I'm remote. I'm outside the historical Clark Ranch. I wonder if people driving by seeing this place wonder what the story is here. All they would see now is a broken down house, a messy yard, no life, no love, just a rundown house that should be torn down. Is it worth repairing, or should they try to start anew? I wonder if they could imagine a time where this house was filled with people who loved and worked hard, people that cared for one another. Oh, here's one of the Clarks now.
My grandpa used to say, home is where the heart is. Well, my heart is here, but it doesn't feel like home anymore. You see, my grandparents raised me. My mom passed while giving birth to me. My dad, well, he died while I was 5, right in that barn. I don't have any memories of my parents. I've seen pictures, but I have nothing in me to call my own.
Now you may be asking yourself, who is Earl and why is he in this story? You see, Earl is Travis's brother. Earl is what you would say the bridge to all the brothers, even though they don't know it yet.
When Grandma was alive, they used to come up for the holidays at least. But now I'm lucky to see them once a year.
Poor Earl. He is just clueless in life. Nobody wants to come here to revisit old memories, painful memories, memories that he never had to live. His memories are different from his brother's.
My brother Hunter, he is only in the next town, and he doesn't come and visit. He has a job working on another farm. He said that he's always busy. Then there's my sister Wendy. Well, she's married and has 2 kids. Between the kids and Stuart, they keep her really busy. We talk here and there, but it's not the same.
What Earl doesn't realize is that if it wasn't for him, this story might have turned out differently. Earl really doesn't know his family and what they've gone through.
Lastly, we have Jackson. He's the oldest. Jackson is the smart one, college educated, works in finance. He is focused on his career. He's the one I don't relate to at all. He's old enough to be my dad. Last time I saw him was at Grandpa's 75th birthday party. That was 5 years ago. I don't know much about him personally. He would also call and talk to Grandpa and ask how I was doing, but never spoke to me. It's gotta be hard on him. I mean, he was an adult when I was born. He was already in college.
Man, this kid talks way too much. I mean, blah, 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 who cares? Get to some good stuff. I mean, who's he talking to anyways? The kid is talking to himself.
I don't know anymore. I want to fix this ranch up. My ranch. Grandpa willed it to me.
Finally, some information that we might find interesting. So, he got the ranch. Why him, though?
I don't know what to do, where to start, where to get help. I don't have much money. After Dad died, Grandpa tried to run the place, but even he couldn't step in the barn for long. He began selling the animals off whenever he needed money. He would putz around in the mill every now and then, but after Grandma passed, I think his spirit did too. I think he just stayed around long enough to see me become a man, or the best man he could make.
Come on already, kid. Cry me a river already. Yes, everyone around you is dead. We get it. You're sad.
Now I've reached out to all my siblings begging for help. I will turn this place around. I just hope they want to help. Now, instead of being all depressed and nostalgic, the last thing I knew Grandpa was working on was in the garage. Maybe I can finish one thing that he started. That might be the start I need to turn this place around.
Well, I hope that he does something. I mean, how long can this kid talk to himself?
I wish Grandpa was here. He would at least know what to do.
I can't do this anymore. I need something. The kid is making me go crazy. Let's see. Okay, this might drown out his rambling.
The only good thing about missing someone or wishing you were close to someone who is no longer around is that it makes you realize that those loved ones who are in your life, cherish them.
Oh, yeah.
Hold them dear while you still can, because one day, we will all be gone.
That's it.
Oh, yes. I remember Grandpa, the way his hair was white, and every time he bent down to pick me up, it brushed against my face.
I'm hungry.
I remember the way he laughed often and easily. His voice, a chime of happiness.
I'm bored.
I remember that he seemed to always be awake. He wasn't one of those men who liked to sleep in late and have breakfast in bed. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night and went to the kitchen to get a glass of water.
Is he
There
done
he
yet?
was, a cup of coffee in his worn-out hands, staring at the moon.
Nope.
I watched him in silence for a moment. He was so still,
Oh, I hope he
as
can't
if
hear me.
he were contemplating something. I had the overwhelming feeling that I didn't really know my grandfather at all.
It's a good thing I at least brought
Then
some
he saw
music.
me. "What are you doing?" I asked. He snapped out of his trance. "Just looking at the moon. Do you need a glass of water?"
Good tune.
He always knew what I needed. He was just that way. People are amazed that I remember so much about him.
I'm hungry.
I think his love for me pressed those memories into my heart and mind forever. I remember him telling me right before he died that he will always be with me, watching over me like the moon. Oh yes, I remember him. I remember.
Is he done yet?
Grandpa was a hard-working man, and I know I didn't make things easy for him. Him and Grandma took me when I was 5. They did their best. It must be hard on a man to lose his son, my dad, at such a young age. Grandpa tried really hard to be my father figure,
Good tune.
but he couldn't go in the yard and play catch or throw the football with me. He couldn't help me with my schoolwork. All he could do is teach me some basic stuff. Grandpa was a smart man. He just wasn't a teacher.
I'm bored.
Dad ran the ranch for so many years that Grandpa, I think, got a little lazy. Sure, he would drive the truck to the market, but Dad loaded it, butchered the animals, milked the cows, and Grandma gathered all the eggs. Grandpa would cut the trees down and sell the wood, but the farming stuff, he really didn't do much. I remember being with him. I was about 7 or so, and walking in, watching him trying to butcher a pig. Blood was everywhere. I remember running out of there, screaming and not eating ham for a week. That didn't stop my grandpa, though. He butchered the pig like a blind man driving. He didn't make that much money on that pig. He said that people didn't want to buy him prime cuts. He never butchered another pig again. He would just sell them one at a time when they got big. Grandpa, I miss you. Please send me a sign and help me figure this out so at least I can have one thing that works here.
Who is this showing up now?
And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And Earl hasn't found what he's looking for.
Is this a musical? At least they could get better singers.
Hunter! You know, your singing almost cheered me up.
Really?
No. You know you can't sing.
Well, I like to think you're singing my praises for showing up. There now. Are you driving or am I?
You grab the gas can. I'll drive. That way you can keep an eye out for the foxes.
Okay, so now we've met Earl and Hunter, but I gotta move so I can keep up with them. And also them not seeing me.
Did you hear that? I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm just down the road. Why wouldn't I help out? Plus, I think you're starting to hear things.
Just felt like it was a long shot that any of you would show up.
Earl, you know, just because you're the youngest doesn't mean you aren't family. You are our little brother. Of course we have to show up and give you a hard time.
Well, I haven't heard from Travis or Jackson.
I bet they'll be here.
Okay, so this is Hunter, the infamous woman chaser. I'm surprised that he's the first one to show up. I wonder where they're going after they get fuel.
You know, if you don't want me singing, we're going to need to put in a radio.
There's a car dealership right down the road.
Good. Now we don't have to listen to this awful singing again. I'm going to meet them at the dealership.
Do you like watching a channel where no one knows what's going on? Where variety is all over the place because I'd rather be a little weird than all boring? And tune in to Bone 13's channel where after you show up and stay a while, you will be more confused about life and gameplay. Come in and sit down, relax and yell at your screen because Bone is going to do something wrong. Bone may actually do something right or funny, but it's not guaranteed.
Okay, this ought to be a good place to hide.
While they put the radio in, let's go get some tools in the store.
The store? You mean Annette's store? I can't go there. I mean, sure, I can physically walk there, but I ain't going in. I can't go in.
Why not?
Look, it was a long time ago, and it's a long story.
It's a long walk. It'll take us a while to get there.
It's not really worth telling.
Come on, let's hear it.
Okay, fine, but it's the last story you're getting out of me.
Well, I hope this guy can tell stories better than Earl can, but at least he's talking to someone. Unlike what I'm doing. Darn it, Earl, now I'm doing it.
So it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was headed into the city. I see this chick on the side of the road, waving me down.
Really? You making this up?
Do you want to hear the story or not?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. As I was saying, she's trying to flag someone down. So I stopped, trying to be the good Samaritan and all. Wink, wink. She told me that her car was running hot, and I gotta say, she was running pretty hot herself, if you know what I mean. There was steam coming from underneath the hood, and under it, never mind. So I asked how I could help. She said her phone was dead. I told her I didn't have my phone or a charger, but I told her I would see what the problem was. So I climbed under her car and stared at the sexiest pair of legs. I saw that her radiator hose was blown. I crawled back out, stood up and looked her straight in the eyes, and I said, your hose is blown, but I can give you a ride if you want it. She told me she was on her way to work. I told her I'd give her a lift. It was the least that I could do.
I think I need to follow this guy more. Wow.
On the way there, we got to talking about life and how things seemed to go off the rails pretty quick. She said she had a pretty complicated life. I said, I know the feeling. No interruption?
Don't you dare interrupt him, Earl.
No.
Thank you.
We were getting close to the store, and I asked her if I could drop by with lunch one day. She's pretty good looking after all. She says, I can't say yes to that. And I said, I take that as a yes. We laughed. I dropped her off and thought that was it. A week later or so, I thought about her. So, me being me, grabbed some burgers and sodas and went to the store. She was surprised to see me. She said, I didn't expect me to show up. I said, I like burgers and pretty women, and have both in front of me. She laughed. I smiled. One thing leads to another, and what I didn't know is that she had a boyfriend or not. But I figured out pretty quick when an angry guy was dragging me out of the storeroom.
Did you fight back?
Fight back? Hell, I was fighting to pull my pants back up.
Oh, this is classic.
He gave me a good once-over. And I got out of there with my head still attached to my neck. Last I heard, they got married. Good for them. But I ain't risking poking my head in the door.
You think she remembers you?
Oh yeah, she remembers. I bet he does too. Not worth it.
Well, here's the store. You stay outside if you want. I'm going to see if I can buy the stuff.
I'll go back and get the UTC.
Let's go into the store and see this Annette.
Morning, ma'am.
Hey, sweetie. Need any help finding anything?
I need some tools.
What type of tools? A man like you like that likes to work with his hands. Get all dirty and sweaty.
Actually, I have no idea what I need.
Well, what are you doing?
I have no idea. Just give me some common tools.
Okay. Well, every man needs a hammer. Never known you to drive in something hard. I guess a crowbar would help too. Just in case something is stuck. And one of these. And one of those. Also, to keep you busy and well fed, why don't you buy some chicks? The eggs are very tasty. You have a nice cock, too.
Excuse me, ma'am?
You know, a cock. A big cock. I'm sorry, you might call it a rooster.
Oh, right. I knew what you were talking about. Thank you, ma'am.
Anytime, sweetie. Also, let me know how that cock is. I always know a good cock when I see it.
Thank you.
Okay, I had to get out of there. Earl is, well, I don't know what he is, but I don't blame Hunter for getting his signals crossed up with her. Oh, here he comes now. I gotta hide again.
Earl, what the heck did you just buy? And why the chickens? And the rooster?
Annette said...
Say no more. Let's just get it all loaded up. I can't believe you bought a rooster. Well, at least you bought feed, too. Now I have to build a coop.
While they load up, I'm gonna head back to the house. This is too funny.
So, Earl, what's the plan?
Plan? I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me.
Well, since you bought some chickens, you're going to need a place to sleep, so why don't you build a coop?
I don't know how to build a coop.
You know how to build a box?
Yes.
Okay. Frame with some wood, and we'll wrap it with some chicken wire.
Is that why it's called chicken wire?
Well, it's also called poultry netting, but yes.
Let me get some wood.
Do you know where wood comes from?
Yes. I bought some at the store.
Oh, boy.
Well, while they build the coop, I think it's a good time to go to commercial. Hopefully, they build it fast.
Do you ever feel like you're spending too much time looking for the right tool? Have you ever just wanted to buy an animal for no reason whatsoever? Then come on down to Annette's General Store. Annette's General Store is filled with items that you just can't live without, from simple buckets and bags of feed to high-tech gizmos that tell whether or not your eggs are fertile. Annette's General Store. If you have money, you are bound to buy useless items here. Annette is not responsible for any lost animals once purchased. If you are not fast, don't buy them.
Okay, well, Hunter did most of the work, but the chickens are now inside a coop, along with a rooster. I wonder where everyone else is. It's getting late. I need to rest soon.
Thank you, Hunter. What should we do next?
You see the house?
Yeah.
Let's fix it up. I mean, I don't even know how it's still standing right now.
I don't know how to build a house.
Oh, you'll find out. Plus, most of the fun is in the demolition. We'll start demolition tomorrow. It's getting late.
Hunter, thank you for coming here.
You're my brother. I'm going to help.
Yeah, but Jackson and Travis aren't here.
They'll be here. I have a feeling they'll be here. What do you have to eat around here?
I have hot dogs and macaroni and cheese.
You have a lot to learn, Earl. Well, go inside, figure out what you can do. I'll put the tools away. We're all fruit from the same tree. Some of us are apples and some are oranges, but the roots run deep for us.
Alrighty then. Looks like that's it for today. I guess Travis is coming in later. Well, folks, this is your trusted DJ signing off. Now, where can I get a bite to eat and get some rest?